Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stollings. You know me here on YouTube as MarauderEX, and as always, I'm your host for Operation Recap. I take some of the stories from Rainfall.com, and I show them off here on YouTube. And, you know, I love doing the YouTube thing, but I've been doing other stuff as well. I've been sitting in on the podcast. That's a lot of fun. So yeah, branching out from just YouTube. It's my thing now. Like, king of YouTube, but conquering new areas. Anyway, just a couple of stories for you this week. Yesterday was Halloween, and I spent the evening giving out candy to lots of little trick-or-treaters. I'm a little tired, so, it wasn't a very busy news week, but there are two stories that really did catch my eye that I really wanted to talk about. First and foremost, Valkyria Chronicles is coming to PC. It's going to get a Steam release. It was originally leaked by the UK, because it was rated by the PEGI board. And it's been announced. It's coming out. So Valkyria Chronicles, for those of you who do not know, it is a turn-based tactical RPG done by Sega, set in a mythical kind of World War I-II-esque setting. You've got, tanks, you've got machine guns, then you've also got people with giant lances that shoot missiles at said tanks. It's different, it's interesting, it has very odd aesthetic, kind of a cel-shaded type approach. And it, like I said, it is a tactical turn-based RPG. Very reminiscent of what you would imagine a remake, kind of the Shining series would be in a more modern setting. Because, it's not grid-based. It's however you can move within a certain, area. So there's no grids, there's nothing limiting you to how your strategy works. But it is a fantastic game. I'm really excited to see it coming out on PC. Hopefully, this will give, a little bit more breadth to the series, because we got Valkyria Chronicles 1 on PS3. Valkyria Chronicles 2 was released as a PSP exclusive, which really caused it to bomb. I like it, it's a good game, but it didn't sell enough because the platform was just not active here in the US when the game came out. And then Valkyria Chronicles 3 was also released on PSP, but it wasn't even considered for release here, because at that point the system was dead in the US. Well, it was still active in Japan. So we got the first one on a console, we got the second one on a handheld, and we didn't get the third one at all. So what I'm hoping is that if this one sells well enough, that they will actually reconsider looking at the other two to get a release on Steam as well. Some of the major improvements are this game will be running at 60 frames per second at 1080. So that's actually a huge increase over what the PS3 did. So that is a good sign that they are actually trying to optimize this for a stronger platform. So the fact that it can run, I mean, if you don't have a computer that can run it, that's not a bad, it will still run based off as long as you meet the minimum specs. But, if you can bump it up a little bit, they're actually taking the time to bump it up a little bit, which is, I'm going to be a little mean and say it's a little more than what I expect from Sega from their optimizations. The last game I heard that got really good PC optimizations was Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. Everything else just seems to be can we just throw it out? At least in terms of ports. I will be completely honest, I don't follow a lot of their PC releases. Except for this one. I'm really excited about this one. I do own it on my PS3. I am probably going to buy the Steam version, because why not? Having a slightly enhanced port, can't complain about that. So here's hoping, if you are a fan of strategy RPGs like Final Fantasy Tactics, Fire Emblem, things like that, check this game out. There's a lot of videos of it online, give you an idea of how the system works. Go check it out. If you've got a PS3, you can get a copy of it used for really cheap. We have a lot of links on the article about it. I think I picked mine up a while back for like $14. So if you haven't played it, if you've been kind of hesitant on the fence, if you've got a PS3, go ahead and try it out for cheap. Or if you want to wait for the enhanced port, that's also going to be a thing. So go check out all that stuff, because it's good. And the second story, which is probably the last one I'm going to cover for this week, is, like I said, kind of a slow news week. Final Fantasy XIV Heaven's Ward, a new expansion that they're doing, is going to be adding a lot of new content, new job, new mounts, new areas, things like that. A friend of mine sent me this because I play Final Fantasy XI a lot. My favorite class in it is Dark Knight, utilitarian damage dealer. I have flat out said I have no interest in playing 14 because they don't have a class that really appeals to me. The reason why he sent me this, and the reason why I was really entertained about covering the story, is because they're adding the Dark Knight job class to this game. From the sound of it, it sounds nothing like previous incarnations of Dark Knight. Cecil from early Final Fantasy, he was a damage dealer and then turned into a paladin, which was a tank. So there's always been a very, specific split between Dark Knight and other jobs. In 14, he is going to be a tank class for the Dark Knight. So if you are interested in being a meat shield, you can now do it with some dark style. They're going to be adding a lot of stuff, beast tribes, primals, a lot of things that I'm not really familiar with the game, because like I said, I don't play it. So when I say these things, I feel kind of silly, because I have no idea what this means. So, but if you have been playing Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, they are adding new content, which is really good. A lot of people expected that when 14 came out, they were going to stop providing content for 11. They're still providing a lot of content for 11, and if 11 is any indication of how long they plan to keep this game alive, it's going to be alive for a good long time, and they're going to continue to bleed content into it at a very, very steady pace. 11 started off very with updates. It was months or years between any sort of content update. Now it is pretty much every month. May not be a major update, but they are adding little bits to it, and like I said, if that is any indication, then 14 is going to be around for a really, really long time. So go check out that stuff. It was shown off with one of their press releases. There's a lot of stuff on their YouTube channel as well about it. So go check out Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. Go check out Valkyria Chronicles. I'm going to go gorge myself on leftover Halloween candy, and I will see you guys when I wake up from my self-induced diabetic coma. So I will see you guys next week. Till then, later everyone.